I just got the new Daicamping DL25. This is a pretty fantastic tool, and I think this beats the Leatherman Surge in about 3 specific ways. Now, one of the first ways is definitely the price, because this comes in around $35, and then with shipping, it was actually $45 to my house. Price is a big deal. Now, the second big way that these tools in general, and the Daicamping, I guess in specific, you could say is different than the Leatherman Surge or has an advantage, is color and scale options. Now, the Leatherman Surge you get in black or you get in silver, that's it. Now, what Daicamping it has done is they just added this pretty nice blue color. And even before that, there were the more skeletonized handles. You could buy something pretty similar like this from Daicamping that almost looked like the Leatherman Arc. Byberry has added the titanium coated handles, and Rock Tool has this almost like antiqued black handles. Not really antiqued, but pretty stonewashed is what I was looking for. Pretty nice. All these different options you can get on these Leatherman Surge like tools. Now, Daicamping rather even has a gold handle option if you really need that. I think it looks a little bit too much. It's a little too much for me, but that's where this tool right here, I think, does shine in that it gives people, a lot more options in this tool frame. Now, I think it's time to look at some of the tools, and then we'll get to one of the other reasons why this tool could be potentially and is superior to the Leatherman Surge in a very specific way. Now, when we open this up, I do like the pliers. I will do a full rundown on the metal as supplied, the hardness and so forth as supplied by AliExpress. This right here has these really nice Leatherman Surge style pliers, the crimpers at the bottom. They have been switching over to these gold colored replaceable wire cutters right here. And then on the side of the handles right here, we have a nice set of ruler markings, really like that. Let's go ahead and look at the outside tools. We have the regular knife. All these will be locking. The T-shank adapter. This comes with the diamond file and the regular file. On this side, the serrated blade. This will not have the gut hook on that side, and then the scissors. Let's do a quick paracord test. Usually on these, you can tell from paracord how good the scissors are, and it seems like these are actually pretty good, cutting right through the paracord. I really do like these style of scissors. Now, on the inside, let's go ahead and look at the tools provided. On the inside, we have a pretty standard tool set. The really nice large flat screwdriver, this micro, almost like your eyeglass screwdriver with the Phillips and the flat, the wire stripper can opener on this side, and then the double-sided 1/4 inch bit driver, the bit right here, where you can use Klein bits and Milwaukee bits, all kinds of different double-sided bits with the ball detent. Really like that. And that is the third reason why this is potentially superior, and this definitely is, to the Leatherman Surge, because I really like this 1/4 inch bit driver, and then it doubles as a 1/4 inch nut driver. Extremely important. Now, some of you have said, yeah, but it's slanted and that makes it useless as a nut driver. Well, I actually have used it quite a bit. It does make it a little bit harder to use as a nut driver, but you definitely still can. So that does not make it obsolete as that. Now, these handles right here are pretty much a standard set of handles, and then they have coated them with it's almost iridescent. It almost turns a little purple at times. It's blue, and then there are shades of a darker, almost purple, but it definitely is primarily blue. It reminds me of when you heat up titanium and it changes colors. That's what it reminds me of, but I don't think that's what's happened. I think they have just coated this in some sort of paint or color texture. It doesn't seem like it's thickened the handles much, but it looks pretty nice. Very shiny, but pretty nice. Now let's talk about what we get with this. We have pretty much the same accessories except the scalpel. You do not get the scalpel, but with this, we have an extra set of wire cutters, and these will not be gold colored. These will be the standard. So if you prefer the standard, you can use that, or you can keep the gold colored on there. On the other side, the saw blades for your T-shank. One a lot more aggressive, and then one a lot more fine. And these will not fold. You can use these with the T-shank extended, and then you would have to take them out, put the file back in, and close the tool, and then store the saw blades right there. Now what we have here is these bits, and I will put on the screen all the bits that you have, but we've got Torx bits and flat bits and some hex bits as well. Pretty nice little set right there. Now this is a little bit of a mystery to me. I got some scalpel blades. Apparently the people packing my tool thought that it came with a scalpel holder. It does not, but I did get the blades. I can use those for some of my other multi-tools, but just so you know, it does not come with scalpel. Now this tool comes in at 12.1 ounces. Let's go ahead, turn this on. I forget how that transfers over to grams, but I know it comes in. I weighed it at 12.1 ounces, or let's switch it over to grams, 341 grams. Essentially, it will be about the same weight as the Leatherman Surge. So for those of you curious about the blade material, the plier head is 3CR13, the handle is 2CR13, the knife blade is 7CR17, and then most of the inside tools are all 3CR13. Pretty much all that I can see. The saw parts are 58CR4, and then it talks about the maximum twisting force is 130 kilograms. And then with the knife blade, the HRC rating is actually 55 through 58. Plier head 51 through 55. The handles are 46 through 48. And then the inside tools are pretty much 52 through 54. All right, so why would someone choose this over the Leatherman Surge? Well, I think it's pretty simple. Price, the 1/4-inch bit driver, and the handle choices. All of those, I think, really give pause to some people. I feel like some time ago, there was a lot of pushback when these Chinese clones came out and they began replicating a lot of Leatherman's tools. But the longer they're out, I read a lot of you guys saying these are great. I carry them. I find the 1/4-inch bit driver so much more useful. And Leatherman is boxing themselves in by sticking with their proprietary bits. Yes, you can get the adapter, but a lot of people prefer that a 1/4-inch bit holder right on the tool. Not everyone, and maybe it's almost 50-50, but there are a bunch of customers that actually do prefer that. I think this is a pretty cool tool, and one of the things I'm excited about is the new choices and the new options we're seeing on these Surge clones in 2026, and I think it's only going to get more. So in the next coming months, maybe not in 2026, but in the next year or so, I think these are some of the changes we will see to the Leatherman Surge. I think there will probably be a push to put one out in a camo. It seems like we have different Leatherman Wave clones, Signal clones that are in camo. I would assume that we will see something like that on the Leatherman Surge clone. And then G10, I think there will be a switch where this right here becomes almost more like a Leatherman Surge Charge, where they will swap out the scales right here, And this one already right here is not a solid handle. So if you can see right there, it actually goes over, and then, yeah, it's not a solid handle. It doesn't wrap around like the original Leatherman Surge does. And what I think they will do is, let's go ahead and open this up. They'll essentially make the frame to have a lip, and then they'll go ahead and they'll put scales just like on their Leatherman Charge clones and on this one right here. See how it's made the reverse way. This one, the handle right here slopes up, and then you can put that scale on top. This one right here slopes down, and then it connects so that the knife or the tool implement connects at the bottom. So I think they'll just adjust that, and then they'll add some G10 scales, maybe something even like this mossy oak. And I think all that is great for you, the consumer, but it is very bad news for Leatherman, because Leatherman has been letting these brilliant tools just sit there, and they've been adding color options to some of the lower end tools, but some of these higher tools, they have not really done much with. And what these overseas companies are doing is they're not only adding color options, they're making it feel more premium with the G10 scales. They're doing all kinds of experiments, and I think it's going to be successful, because with all these varieties, it will satisfy a lot of the consumers' needs, which means less and less people will be buying the original Leatherman Surge and Wave and so forth. So good for the consumers, good for the overseas companies, bad for Leatherman, ultimately bad for the consumers, because if Leatherman fails, these designs will not continue, albeit even though it seems like at a trickle, Leatherman does actually design a new multi-tool every 2 to 4 years, it seems like. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely a conundrum, but something that at the moment is a little bit exciting to see these new choices and varieties to pick from.